GH Squad Podcast, episode 5, and this is a big show because we have a special guest joining the squad. Stephanie, welcome.
Thanks, guys.
I know, it's a first. But I was thinking back. I feel like we've all been friends for like at least 15 years. I was thinking like it was back in your Peachtree days when you and I met, and Mason and Seth.
I thought about this. It was actually earlier. I met you back in the days when I was a graduate student at Cornell at Sealy Conference.
Wow.
With like Greenhouse Grower Days. Delilah and that whole gang. I mean, this is like going back 20 years.
Does the Sealy Conference still happen?
I don't think so.
There's been efforts to try to like bring it back, but
that was a good event.
When I was first in the industry, I thought it was like the Seelig Conference, Bud Seelig. Like, I was always like, all right. Yeah, definitely. The funny part is that might have been when I was an undergrad or close to it.
Yep.
So I was going to say, Bill, I don't know if 35 minus 15, impossible for me to have been 15. I was still just, chilling.
There's a baby, basically.
On the hill up at in Ithaca.
Yeah. I feel like the things I remember from my first Sealy conference was Marvin kind of holding court there. And we did get to tour. I think we went to the trial gardens at Cornell. And I remember at the hotel we stayed at, and there was a wedding reception. And we walked in and ate off of the appetizer table and then walked out.
Was it at Cornell?
No, we were at like a Holiday Inn or something.
I was hoping it was at the Fratler.
We went to Cornell when we were on vacation a few years ago. Remember, Mason, you sent us to like a wing place. Where did you send us?
Wings Over? Wings Over Ithaca? Yeah. They used to do a buffet on Thursdays, maybe Fridays, but I cut a couple classes to attend that, but it was all you could eat wings for like $12. It's delicious.
They were good. I don't think my family was as excited as I was. Stephanie, have you eaten at Wings Over in Ithaca?
Many, many a times. I've also had Wings Over Ithaca delivered to, our house, which was always like a struggle because, you'd order and then you'd never really know when your order was actually going to arrive or if it would arrive or if in full. So yeah, I think that was part of, just being a college student or a grad student and living off campus. It was this after hockey game activity. You'd go home, have some adult beverages, and then maybe order some Wings Over Ithaca.
Speaking of ordering, just real quick, there was at one point in Ithaca, there was a special that you could order. It was like 2 pizzas, a dozen wings, 2 liters of Coke, breadsticks, and it was like $20 from a restaurant that I won't name. And I happened to be outside of a bar event that we were doing, and I was talking to the bouncer, and I was like, this restaurant next door runs this special. And I was like, these guys are clearly like not making any money on this. Like, this got to be a front for some illegal activity. And the guy goes, I own that restaurant.
Oops.
And I was like, oh. And I was like, okay, I'll shut my mouth. And I didn't think about it for a few years. And then I kid you not, like 5 years later, that guy got indicted on like money laundering charges for like racketeering and all of those like big mob crimes. And I was like, I knew it.
Nailed it.
I knew it. Johnny on the spot. So
well, why was the owner the bouncer of a nearby establishment? Seems kind of iffy, right?
it was like I didn't know he owned the bar next door too. He owned both businesses, and maybe he wasn't even the bouncer.
He was just
outside,
checking IDs.
Hanging out.
Yeah. But he was, I forget. He was like, I own that place. And I was like, all right, going back inside. Thanks for the $3 beers.
That is epic. So Seth, how did you meet Stephanie? Do you remember?
You know what? Let's see if she remembers.
Oh,
yeah. Huh?
I
At
wanna
the
say-
conference, remember?
I'm sorry?
It was a conference, right? Cultivate, probably.
I want to say it was either Cultivate or it might have even been the now defunct like ANLA management clinic.
Or was it American Hort? Was it American Hort planning meetings?
That could have been it
Like,
too.
Circa
Yeah, back when
2000.
I had just
11.
joined the Gen Next committee and you were on either the grower or like the marketing
Yeah.
and management committee. And that was when you were with Burpee too,
Yeah.
I think. So
Yeah. So it was like right around 2011 as we
Yeah.
started like hanging out at the American Hort planning meetings, which is in October.
Yep, exactly. That's it.
Yeah. I did remember. I knew that.
so at least 15 years. We've all
Yeah.
known each other. That is absolutely crazy. Well, I'm
it's just
excited, Stephanie, to get your perspective weaved into all of our goofiness for this episode. And I thought maybe you could introduce yourself to the listeners and just share a little bit about how you got into horticulture, because that's always an interesting story, and maybe some of the roles and experiences you've had. You can drop in things from life outside of work if you want. But I'm also interested when you walk into a room, what music should be playing?
Sure. So, Steph Whitehouse, my origin story, as I always like to say, started when I was 10 years old. And my family and I, we went to Disney World for the first time. And for anybody who hasn't been there, there's of course like the Magic Kingdom, but that there's obviously other parks as well. There's the Epcot park, and Epcot is separated in two sections. One where in the front of the park, it has different lands that you can go and visit. And it talks about like technology or like the ocean or the land. And the land pavilion had a ride where you got in a boat and you traveled around and you learned about agriculture, and then you learned about horticulture and vertical farming and aquaculture. And I distinctively remember sitting and turning next to my mom and saying, "Mom, this is fascinating. I want to do this. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life." Like, boom, done. We go
Age
home.
10.
Like, yes, like hydroponics was like just a new thing. And I went to the library because, the internet wasn't really like accessible at the time, and tried to learn everything I could about hydroponics and Monsanto and all kinds of other things in terms of like, new technologies in farming. I was in like junior garden club. And I want to preface this too, because like both my parents are artists. I don't come from a horticulture background, aside from like my dad's relatives owning a organic beef cattle farm in Vermont. Like that is my love for the land of like where that comes from. I knew Cornell was where I wanted to go. It was like local from where I live and the best in the country.
Heck yeah.
So,
Go
yeah.
Big Red.
I know, right?
generally
And I know we'll have some like, OSU folks and some MSU or maybe, UC Davis folks who might like dip, want to take up that challenge, but I still plead red, truly. Got into plant science and swiftly realized I don't want to work for Monsanto. I don't want to do biotech. Yeah. And I got myself an internship with Dr. Bill Miller at those horticulture test gardens that we went to for a Sealy conference, and did that for a couple of years. Stayed on for my graduate degree in weed ecology, not that kind of weed, but like weeds like in horticulture and in agricultural systems. And I found myself realizing that it was still like a good old boys club. I couldn't go onto a farm without someone or the farmer saying, "I don't trust you because you're too pretty, plus you're a girl." And I went to cultivate on my own and hung out with all the Cornell kids, of course, and some of the ball interns, of course. And at that point in time, I decided, okay, this is it. This is where I belong. I love horticulture. I love the like strategy of the industry and how do we get plants into the hands of people. And it's from all of those like network connections that I then got to work at Peachtree Farm as their sales and marketing directors. Peachtree is a really small boutique organic greenhouse in like the northern suburbs of Philadelphia. And we supplied not only other growers with like organic plants, both herbs, vegetables, and ornamentals, but really found a niche in growing really cool, geeky plants for botanical gardens and independent garden centers and things like that. And
And from
then
Martha Stewart.
and for Martha Stewart. Yeah, that's actually the first time I met her. I love her. That was going to be my like shout out. I love Martha
Ooh.
Stewart. She's one of my favorite people. I will always be a Martha fan. Screw Joanna James. That's maybe my, hot take.
Hot take.
But life then kind of happened and I decided to move back to central New York. I worked retail for Dickman Farms Garden Center, ran their retail operation for 5 years in the middle of COVID. And that's what ultimately killed me, because while I love retail theater and again, getting plants into the hands of people, I didn't like in New York State, we were pretty intense with COVID regulations. And so, let me take your temperature every morning. And
Ooh,
where have you been in the last 24 hours? And wait, you're taking a day off? Like, who are you going to go see? What state are you going to? And I'd missed like product development and program development. And so Rebecca Lusk and a few other people approached me, and I ended up now where I am today, which is at Dümmen Orange. We're a breeding company, one of the biggest ones, like all horticulture. I am a product manager, so I manage all annual plants or half of the catalog. And then I am also the brainchild behind the new confetti garden and garden party combinations. So when you
wow.
see mixes like American Girl or Hello Barbie or Cosmic Blues, those are my brainchildren. So
Miss Americana.
Miss Americana, yeah. So both loved and hated your question of what's my like entrance song, right?
Yeah.
Because music is super important to me. Like I like grew up playing music. My family has like just a love for music. I was a ballerina for 15 years. That was
Mason too.
that
We're
was
going to
my
see the
like
Nutcracker tonight as a
nice.
family.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so there's like so many songs that I can pick that relate to different parts of like what is my personality in my life and that kind of thing. But I kept coming back to one of my all-time favorite bands, Daft Punk.
Yeah.
And so One More Time is my entrance song. It is instantly rocking. It is instantly like loud and has a presence. And you know that it's always going to be something really positive and a whole lot of fun, which I think describes me. But if I were to pick like what is my life theme song, it would be Jamiroquai's Canned Heat before it was a hit from Napoleon
I was
Dynamite.
just saying the
So
Napoleon Dynamite
Right.
dance.
Napoleon Dynamite dance, yeah. But I like to say that they stole it from me, not
Mm.
vice versa. So yeah.
Fair.
And then I got down this rabbit hole of like, so, I name a lot of the confetti gardens or garden parties off of like music or themes or maybe movies that are related to now, or maybe songs that I was just listening to at the time. I'm like, Summer Breeze makes
Oh,
me
yeah.
feel
Here we
Seals
go.
and Crofts.
yeah. So I started thinking like, I feel that it would be awesome if plants had their own theme song. So, like Wave Bubblegum Pink, just screams like a Sabrina Carpenter song,
Yeah.
or like, Aqua
Taste. Good
Barbie,
song.
like we have a new leucanthemum at Dümmen that is called Kylie that has this super like oversized blooms. And all I can think of is like Kylie Minogue, like you
Yeah.
can't get me out of your head, like, cause it is so big and everybody wants to like, it's almost the size of your face. A new coleus that was out on the market this year that won like all those awards, where was it Skeletor or something like that, just screams like a Metallica song or
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know, some thrasher rock.
Yep. Well,
We
and
could
I
go on.
know that like at Cicada, they've been naming their combos after they have like Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I
Yeah.
mean it's Chris Carlson, another who likes music, and I think he's been naming it after songs. I bet that there are more varieties named for songs or music than we know. Because
Oh,
I know
Yeah.
so many people in the industry that are like music nerds, and they probably go, not you, Seth.
not you,
This
Seth.
conversation should just avoid Seth. He knows
Probably.
one
Yeah.
song. We had determined that this week.
I
But
Yeah,
don't-
three doors down, Kryptonite. That's it.
that's the
Put it on
only
loop.
song he knows. Is that your walk-in song, Seth?
Has to
No,
be.
I picked a Red Hot Chili Pepper song, but I really didn't know
Ooh.
what to pick. I was like really struggling with this idea of a walk-in song because I don't know any song names. So I asked my son, and he just picked. He's like, "Oh, this song." I'm like, "What? This one that we're listening to?" He's like, "Yeah, pick this one."
Do you remember the name of it?
Not
The
a chance.
song.
He's like,
Well, it was like a Benson Boone song because
Oh,
we've been
yeah.
listening to a lot of Benson Boone. Well, you don't
Mystical
like Benson?
Magical.
I don't think it was that one,
Mm.
but it
I'm
was.
not a
But
fan of that guy. Sorry.
the song. But
You're
you don't
wrong
like
for that,
Benson
though.
Boone?
No,
Why?
Me and
Wimpy.
Seth are two Boonsters.
It's wimpy.
I
I
love
don't like
Benson.
wimpy music.
The kids
Sorry.
like
I love-
Benson Boone, and it's generally okay for
Oh.
them to listen to.
I like it. It reminds me of myself when I was younger with the 6-pack and the backflip. That was like basically me almost.
Mm.
yeah.
Anyways, the song that I picked was a Red Hot Chili Peppers song, "Can't Stop." Like with like the drum thing, I
Mhm.
think is
I
playing,
like that
it's like
song.
a
I like Chili
it's like
Peppers.
it's like a build up, So
Mhm.
I'm like, I could see myself walking in slow-mo toward a greenhouse with that song, and then as it, like, starts to take off, then I'm like,
Just busting in through the
Yeah.
door like
Yeah.
Seth's here.
There's something kinda like that, or grab a watering wand and flip it like this, and the water sprays everywhere. It's kinda like my thought process.
Wow. That sounds
Yeah.
like a bad dream. Mason, what's
But
your
sounds
walk-in song? I'm terrified to hear this because this could go in so many directions.
Oh yeah. When you said this, like I was kind of like, oh, do I have to make it accurate or like this is like
Yeah.
as I'm coming down to the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah.
This is what's playing, and
You're a wrestler in this. I just want to visualize it correctly, like
oh
Royal
heck yeah,
Rumble, like in a wrestling match
cage
sort of thing.
match, like
Oh,
last
cage
man
match.
standing.
Okay. All right. I'm good.
John Cena retiring this week. Big news in the wrestling world. He'll be
Yeah.
back at some point, I'm sure. But
I
it
thought he
is.
lost. He's done. It's his retirement match, right?
No, he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Okay.
They always come back. So okay. By one of the used to be in the top 4 ranking artists of all time. It's
Which are
the
Ted
song.
Nugent, Bob Seger, Eminem, and who? Fall
You're
Out
missing
Boy?
it. You're missing it. Kid Rock,
Kid
ball
Rock.
it a ball. Ball it a ball da bang da bang diggy diggy.
Just
Like
yeah,
that's what's because it's slow lead in and then it's just hammering you.
I
That's
like
me.
it.
Yeah.
You guys want to know mine?
Please.
Does anybody know my favorite band?
Grateful Dead.
Oh.
No.
I feel
Alice
like
in
you've told me
Chains,
this.
favorite
Oh, yeah.
band of all
Yes.
time, Man in the Box. Not their best
Oh.
song, very popular. I mean, their most iconic song, but everybody would know it. It starts hard, definitely recognizable.
I'm shocked that you didn't pick Rooster over Man in the Box. Like, I feel
That's
like
like a
that's
sad walk-in song.
I guess that's me, emo kid for life.
No, yeah, it
Like,
can't
as
be
you
a
were
sad
saying,
song.
Alice
It's
in
gotta like
Chains,
come in with a bang,
as you
like
were saying it,
Kryptonite
I
by
was like,
Three
oh,
Doors Down.
Rooster.
Mhm.
Rooster would be a great pick.
It's a
On
great
this note,
song.
by the way, for a wrestling, because we did this for one of the teams I coached, the best I've ever seen walk-in song was we had a guy, we shut off the lights and we played the Michael Myers theme song where it's like,
Oh, yes.
and then spotlight, middle of the mat, and he's just there, ready to shake hands. And then
Yes.
he went out and just like pinned the kid in 6 seconds. Coolest
That's
walk-in
awesome.
of all time.
No, that's good stuff. All
That's
right.
cool.
That's enough for the get to know you stuff
Well,
because
here,
we got
wait.
What?
I have a, can I,
yeah.
Yeah.
and just like people
Oh,
that make
yeah.
their own music, where you can like, some people do a tribute, like you can like write in and be like, oh, I want you to do a happy birthday song to so and so, and they'll make some of it's a little bit not so serious, maybe not even super PC, but there's a plant rapper that I follow, and he's like walking through a greenhouse and rapping about the plants. I bet you could hire someone off of Instagram to make songs about some of the plants.
I'm
Probably.
interested. Is it Two Geraniums? Is that the rapper?
No, this is like Rocco Elliott music.
Oh.
It's like he's like in a greenhouse. He's like rapping on a
Gosh.
I don't
Looks
know
like
if it's
Mason at a trade
appropriate,
show.
but yeah, maybe just food for thought, Bill. We could hire with like really inexpensively like a rapper or singer to do a plant related podcast theme song for us.
We could.
Mm.
AI could probably do that too.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
but they wouldn't
Yeah.
be like they wouldn't have this sort of swagger,
I think you have that swagger,
I'm
Seth.
pretty sure we could hire Vanilla Ice to do our theme song for probably cheaper than Rocco the Plant rapper.
All right, let's explore that. Let's
All
see
right.
what the opportunities are.
We'll get
For
on that.
SoundCloud,
That's
Find
something
a good
good.
SoundCloud rapper.
Exactly. Well, we have some topics to cover.
Let's do
But
it.
first, I do have a couple YouTube comments to share. The first one was in response to Mason's comment that Marvel movies and Wicked are not thought-provoking.
I saw it.
A gentleman or a person with the username Tiger Figer says, depends on the Marvel movie, and he didn't want to generalize all 30 Marvel films and thought that some could have thought-provoking ideas. It did agree with you about Wicked. Someone called Plant Geek _1 says that they love the idea of snapdragons that eat thrips. That's clearly a grower. Sam Dorito, which is Dirito, not like the chip, says that they can see GH Squad live at Cultivate. Like that would be potential. I said, yeah, we were definitely down for that. National Garden Bureau invited the three of us to join their board
I saw that.
based on this podcast, which
That's a
is
dangerous
epic.
invitation.
Yeah,
Dangerous
that's probably
was
not a
like-
good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea either. National Garden Bureau is very I mean, they're kind of serious and they
They're
have
legit.
a pretty serious role in the industry. Having us talking about gangster rap from the late 90s in their board meeting,
Maybe
probably not productive.
was that on YouTube? Maybe someone hacked their account. Someone
Yeah.
should talk to Diane about
Or they
that
saw
today.
like the first episode. They're like, these guys are nice. And then like after they're going to post another comment on like video 5, like
Offer
we would like
rescinded.
rescinded. Yeah.
Then on LinkedIn, we've gotten positive comments. One person who indicated that she's interested to see our audience demographics, which I thought was kind of fascinating because this is definitely not for everyone. But anyways, let's get into a controversial topic to kick this one off. Earlier this week, Seth, Mason, and I were debating the Pantone Color of the Year. I have seen a bunch of negative and positive reactions to Cloud Dancer, which is the fancy name for what I consider off-white that'll supposedly inspire us all this year. Pantone calls it a, quote, blank canvas for reflection in a noisy world, which strikes me as really lame. But who am I to say I'm like a colorblind dude? But I'm interested what you guys think about this. And Stephanie, ladies first, any reaction to Cloud Dancer?
I will preface this with saying that most years I really love the selections that Pantone comes out. I think it's more influential on consumer buying than a lot of people think, even when it comes to plants into horticulture. I will say that within probably about an hour or so of them posting or launching what the color was going to be, I made a comment on my Facebook page about how whoever was in charge of choosing this color for 2026 either is a Gen Zer who doesn't own a house or an apartment, and hasn't lived long enough to know that millennial grayish is completely out. They've completely missed the mark with this selection. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to, both in the industry, outside of the industry, girls at book club last night, who everyone is saying, no, flood your life with color. This is what we've been hearing from or seeing at retail for Christmas, for fall. Like, we are desperately screaming and wanting color, 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 color patterns. I mean, Nancy Meyers, just odes to her, and in terms of lifestyle planning. I feel like it's like someone who saw that post on TikTok or on Instagram about the new updates or renovations to the Home Alone house and how it's been completely done in white and whitewashed and modernized, and didn't understand or thought that that everybody must love this. Look at how great it looks. And yet everybody my age, or that anyone who's seen it, has been crying inside because it's part of our childhood. It's like Home Alone houses,
Right.
and everything that made her awesome is gone. It's completely off the mark. I thought last year Mocha was off the mark. No. No.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I think last year was brown.
Yeah. Yeah. It was Mocha Brown. I mean,
Yet Taylor Swift's color for her last album was orange, which is exciting and colorful. I don't know.
energetic.
Mason liked it, right? You like this? You like this color?
Of course, I'm the hot take guy. I love it. I love it. One, for the industry, we have a ton of off-white plants. I think,
Yeah.
we talked about leucanthemum. I'm sure the folks that are breeding leucanthemum will love this. I like it for a different reason, in the fact that, all right, things there are so many things in your life that are visually stimulating. We talk about social media and people just with the scrolling for the dopamine hits. This color is a reset. It is completely, like they say, a blank canvas, neutral. I envision this, now that I think about it, because I rock 2 monitors all day long, and I'm wondering, should I just make one monitor that color so that when I need a visual break, that I'm just
Sure.
boom.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that. Sure, I like colors as much as the next person. Give me a favorite color combo is green and purple. I like that look a lot, but I think that
Like the Joker
yeah.
or Halloween?
Do you just remember I wear that bright green shirt with that deep purple
Yes.
tie all the time? Loved
I
that.
do. And you had blue skinny pants that you wore with it.
Yeah, every time. But I think that this is, this is what we need.
That's
So
what Pantone thinks. I mean, that was their explanation, was like to counteract the noise. But so Stephanie, why do you say color? I mean, I feel like color brightens the mood, makes people happy. If things are,
It's likely
the stock market's down and the world is at war, we probably could use some bright colors to cheer us up
It's
instead
not a
of
color. So,
what's
yeah,
up?
it's not a color.
That's exactly what my husband said. He's like, well, if we're going to get technical and be an engineer here, like white is not a color. Shout out to you.
it's
Wow.
not pure white, it's off-white.
Still,
White.
Hold me closer, cloudy dancer.
That's tiny.
I will
And
say, so
Elton John was a colorful dude. Like he would have worn bright
I
colors.
he, like, yeah. So I hate it personally. For the industry, I think it's going to be great. This is like marketing gold because how many like white plants, like you said, Mason, do we have? I mean, I think the combination I made a couple of years ago, white wedding, is now going to magically like sell like hotcakes. I don't know. Who knows? We've in New York, it's a theme where we have for a long time, all the brides in the summertime are always asking for like all white combinations. I want white hydrangeas, I want white petunias, I want white salvia, I want white, 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 like, and then green boxwoods like everywhere. So Pantone either completely missed it or they're like back living in like 2017
Or maybe
something.
they're where they're beyond us. Maybe they know something we don't know.
That's
I
true.
don't know. Yeah, I guess I mean, the nice thing is with white, right? It does make every other color more bright. So like I could see like contrast being good for like if you use it for containers or like you could have a white container and then really, so there's some ways I think, but I do feel like I'm still not, it just feels boring. Like if every retailer just moves into white, then like you're not going to be able to find any like you just have to like really push the accents to give people a chance to get like, some color in their life.
What if next year is like a super bright, like vibrant, like neon color? Like I guess maybe there's like I don't know, maybe it's like a progression that they work through year to year. Maybe it's not necessarily reflecting the current trend. It's just like a gradient of colors that they work through so that they make sure they don't leave anyone out.
Maybe it's however much paint reserve left is in the world, and they're like, hey guys.
So like they call Sherwin-Williams, they're like, hey, what are you guys overstocked on? They're like, this off-white color. Pantone's like, all right, give us 10 million bucks, 100 million bucks. It's going to be Cloud Dancer. Sherwin-Williams is like,
I think there could be something to that because, like, if you even think of like retail goods, right? Like, if the color is close, it'd be like, oh, it went from like yellow to light green. We'll just shift things around, and it's basically the same thing. So they have to like go like opposite. So they go like from brown, darkish, mocha, whatever, to white, totally different. So the next color has to be like wildly different than this one because everyone's like, oh, well, we need all new furniture, we need all new throw pillows, we need all new blankets, and so.
I would say
it's a rich color to me too, which doesn't rub me the right way.
No,
it's highfalutin, as the people would say. I will say that you guys in the plant side of things are lucky. In the fertilizer world, we only hit on color of the year like once every 12 years because it's just blue. That's all it is. It's just blue.
Yeah.
So
or brown. Our favorite edible fertilizer was brown.
Yeah. Mason, will you like stop adding dye to Jack's fertilizer for the coming year, like as a special like version of Jack's fertilizer, just like with the white
Jack's
can?
Clear.
It's not going to be clear.
Didn't they do that with Pepsi once and it didn't work?
they did. And like Zima.
Zima.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of color palettes and putting plants together, someone reached out to me about samples that I'd gotten, plant samples. And pretty much my whole garden every year is made up of plant samples. So shout out to all the companies who send me plant samples. Keep it up. Thanks,
Hey,
Dümmen.
shout out to you, Bill, for actually planting them because so many of those samples don't make it in the ground.
It's true. Well, sometimes they're sent like when it's like 42 degrees out and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but nonetheless, I'm interested in all of your guys' garden highlights from 2025. And Stephanie, if all your picks are from Dümmen, I'm going to call you out on that because there are other plants out there. Same with Seth and Darwin Perennials. And Mason, I know that fertilizer makes the plants grow, but I don't fertilize very much. So because you don't send me free jacks in the mail. But who wants to start this? Favorite? Give me a couple. We don't need the whole garden, Seth, because I
I'll
know
go.
you're gonna want to go A to Z since you already said your only hobby was standing in your yard.
I'll go because I have like one standout favorite, and it
All right.
wasn't any kind of new genetic.
Pinto geranium.
No, I think it was, and I'm not even going to be 100% sure on the variety. But last year, so I have 6 4-foot by 8-foot by 2-foot tall raised beds, because HOA dictates that I can't do a ton in ground.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, I'm making do. But the big highlight this year was last fall. I put in 2 raspberry bushes into one of the raised beds, and this summer, like we got tons of raspberries, and I think they were just like Heritage is the variety.
Okay.
And I will say that like
Good sized or like the little ones that are super sweet?
nope, good sized raspberries, and every day we went out there was like 3 or 4 more ripe. It was the perfect like, hey kids, you want to go pick the raspberries? And then mom got a break, and I took the kids outside, so it was great. That was the highlight, and I'm glad we added to the berry family this year. We planted a blueberry bush, some honeyberries, strawberries, and
What's a honeyberry? I don't know what that is.
it looks like imagine like if you took a blueberry and it was like a cylinder looking thing.
Like a
It's
Tootsie
like
Roll?
no, kind of,
What?
but it's blue like a blueberry. We didn't get any berries off those this year, but we also planted goji berry, and then I planted a peach tree, a plum tree, and an apple tree. So we're going
Nice.
all in on fruit
Oh.
in 2026.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Someone else. Anyone else have a favorite berry? Like we have a
Well, you know what?
raspberry bush.
I
Probably
can
6 years old. The thing's a machine. All summer long, we eat raspberries. I love it. I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you what it was. It was definitely like a blank tag from Home Depot at some point, but it's a
Nice.
machine.
I also got a raspberry bush this is like the second summer, I think. And I was not anticipating how much like addition, because they're just shoots, right? Like
Yeah.
the raspberry. I was not anticipating how intense this plant was going to be. Like I planted 2 in a section. I'm like, oh, that's okay. They'll fill in. It's like
Takes
wall to
over.
wall shoots, like, and then it
The
like
technical term
blocks.
is canes.
Canes. Thank you. The canes. There's like lots of canes, and then like it blocks everything else. And then they like start coming up from other parts of my garden, even in the grass. Like, and I got like a little
Oh,
like
yeah.
trying to put a blocker in, but we got a ton of fruit, so that was nice. So much fruit that I like started like throwing. I didn't throw them at the neighborhood kids, but like offering them to like neighborhood kids, and so that was super cool. I like that. I don't have any good flower ones because this is the first year that I opted out of samples, from some of even our own companies, because I always kind of felt like I felt pressure. Like I'd get the samples and then I'd be trying to like get them planted, and then I wouldn't plant them on time, and then someone at home would, push me along and then ask me why I haven't planted those yet and why they're like all over the driveway. And then I don't know. I feel like then like my containers were always like kind of like a little bit mismatched, So then I'm like just trying to like, it's just like, I don't know. It became kind of stressful for me. So I didn't have any like flower like wins necessarily.
No
I'd say
perennials
like,
that came back and looked amazing second, third year. I mean,
I mean,
I'm
I
opening
can't
the
speak
door for you to shout out perennials.
perennials, but yeah, I had some good perennials too. I can only think of Darwin ones though, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. Yeah, no, I had some good ones too.
All right, moving on, Stephanie.
Yeah.
I know you've got some, and I've got some too. I even made a list.
I made a short list also. We had a classic Central New York winter here last year. So the perennials were ridiculously happy, especially our endless summer, like hydrangeas. They finally, like 3 years now in, having been planted, they actually looked like, oh, great. Now we're really super established. But I think the 2 biggest highlights were similarly to Mason, we expanded our vegetable and like fruit garden this summer. My family has like always tried to grow strawberries, but we have a family of rabbits that live like in our yard somewhere. And without fail, like the last 2 years, like they've always annihilated whatever strawberry plant we've grown. But this year, my daughter Kelsey was able to harvest one single like lone strawberry, and it was like
Made her
the high
day.
the entire summer. We're like, yes, the one strawberry. And it just had like a bumper crop of tomatoes. My husband and I tried our hand at growing onions this year. And it
Ooh,
actually,
from onion
like,
sets?
yeah, from onion sets. Yeah. And it was like, oh, wow. Well, that's leveled up on like our vegetable garden. We can do onions now. That's cool. Corey already has plans of like, how do we expand it for like next year? And maybe we plant it out or have a planogram, that kind of thing is his jam. I do more of like the front garden bed and the container pots and things like that.
I bet your containers are absolutely stunning. Like,
Oh,
I
thanks.
bet that they're like the pride of the neighborhood.
I will say my porch pots for Christmas are banging right now. They look fantastic, but I always say that my garden is like, the case of the shoemaker's kids. Like
Yep.
I never get to it until like after Mother's Day or even like Memorial Day. And at that point, all the other neighbors have me like outdone and mine is on the struggle bus. So I don't know, one year, maybe my containers will be great. We'll see.
I will say, when you said the case of the shoemaker's kids, I immediately looked at Seth and I was like, does he know what that means? Because I don't know what that means. And maybe I have an ally here.
So
And all I could think of was, I say it all the time. It's the cobbler's kids wear no
yeah,
shoe. It's an old
yeah,
cliche.
I know.
like a
You're just
nursery
too
rhyme.
young.
Like kind of story or like like a cliche that like
Hmm.
the shoemaker, the cobbler's kids are always don't have any shoes because he's so busy making the shoes for all
Other
the other
people's shoes.
children and people in the village, or like the baker's kids never get to eat bread. I don't know.
We should
Yeah.
actually, that should be a
Obviously
topic
dating
for a
myself.
future episode, like cliches that Mason and Seth won't catch.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously
I
was one.
actually, I do know that one. Mason has like lots of material to poke fun at me for sayings, but I do know that one.
Seth used to love to play things by year.
What?
Yeah.
Like
You know,
So-
you like play it by
Play
year.
it by ear.
Yeah, play by year. So,
Like,
okay.
see how
Play
the
by
year
ear.
goes.
So my wife and I were just like, she's making fun of me again, like Mason is right now, because I had texted her something about play, but like with Christmas, I was like, oh, play it by ear. And then at dinner, she's like, did you text that correctly? I thought you played it by year. She was, but I mean, like, music, I don't understand, number one. But then two, like, it's like, okay, should I build a new porch? Right. Well, let's play by year. Let's see how see how the income is throughout the year.
Like year to year?
Or like, oh, should I join a volleyball league? Oh, let's play by year. We'll see how busy I am in a couple of weeks.
So you're just
the play by
confusing
year.
cliches. Take it year by year and play it by ear.
But my favorite of all time
It's like,
is
don't
Seth-
look a gift horse in the ass. Like, those are two totally different cliches.
my
All
favorite one though was Seth used to take things for granted.
Like they were hard.
Yeah.
They were.
They were solid.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
Well,
awesome.
I mean, I probably misspelled those two words too, but I do. You would be impressed because when I take things for granite, I always really emphasize the last part of that. No, granted. Oh, fudge. Wait, which one is it? It's granted, right?
It's granted.
Granted.
Don't take things for granted.
Yeah, I do say that now. I overemphasize the.
But you
granted.
were essentially people like,
Granted.
don't mistake that for a big hard rock.
Right. All right. To the listeners, put it in the comments. Cliches you don't think Seth will understand or will incorrectly
Or uses
speak.
correctly. Yeah.
What's the other plant related one, Mason, that used to make fun of me for?
Oh, nip it in the bud.
Yeah,
You know what? Seth was always about nip it in the butt. You gotta nip it in the butt. And I was like,
well, like a
nobody wants that.
No.
like a kick in the butt, right? Like
Nip
oh,
it
kick you in the
in
butt.
the
Like
bud.
two
there you
different,
go.
two completely different cliches. Nip it in the bud. I needed a kick in the butt. Like, you're just mashing them up, which, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he's
So-
onto something here.
Could
I don't
be.
know.
right?
What to get
Maybe
us back on track, Bill? What?
All right, you
I
guys
wanna
want to hear
leave you out.
my
Yeah.
garden selection
yeah.
from the year?
Yeah.
All right, I'm a big fan of interspecific begonias, like whoppers or dragon wings, all that kind of stuff. They're my favorite plants. I had whoppers this year. So Dwight Deppen from Benari, I said on some podcasts that I liked the whoppers that Benari had at spring trials. He boxed up 3 of them, which might have come like from his yard. I mean, they were like 3/4 of their like finished size. So they're huge in like a wine box. like taped up and like threw it in into FedEx. The thing got, I mean, all the dirt was everywhere. I was like, whoa, where would you dig these up? I planted them. They were awesome. They were the absolute last plants I took out of my pots at the end of the year. I loved them. I do like New Guineas, the hybrid New Guineas, Sun Patiens, Salunas. I'm sure everybody has them now, and they're just awesome. This year I got Salunas in a sample pack. They were crazy good. And then sort of back to our discussion from last episode about Firefly Petunia, I got
Yeah.
the Tradescantia Pistachio, and that was really good. Again, it lasted absolutely forever. Love that plant. And then I will give a shout out to a Dümmen variety, Gaillardia Spin Top, crazy
Nice.
good perennial.
Yeah.
Love Gaillardias in general. And it just sort of, I don't know, it just underscores to me that there is a lot of good new breeding in perennials. Like, I feel like there's good breeding in annuals, but the perennials are just next level now. And I'm sure Seth has a lot of insight into why that is that we don't need to go into now. But it seems like very intentional breeding, and they're just better. They're better perennials. But some of the old school stuff is still awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Those were the highlights from my garden. And I also will say my hydrangeas were awesome this year. And
Can I
raspberry plant.
can I redo my answer just slightly, just for one shout out?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is like, so it's sort it, okay. So 2 years ago, I got Pan American Seed had their like a new lemon basil, like Everleaf,
Yeah.
and it was super good. And like tons of foliage and like late flowering. And my wife really loved it. And so this year I just got like I did not get that one. I got like the old school one that's been out
Regular
for like
basil.
like 100 years, and it was not very good because it like had very few leaves on it and flowered like in early June and was just, and then so Elizabeth was just like, why is the lemon basil so crappy this year? I'm like, well, that was on that. I got the wrong one. So I just think like, like with breeding in general, right? Like
Genetics
breeding
matters.
makes a lot of things a lot better, especially as different companies are going to genus that haven't had a lot of attention, over the last decade. And I think that's actually what's happening in perennials. So like whether like Dümmen, Ball, like anyone that's breeding in perennials, like they're making them a lot better than they were 10 years ago. It's
Yep.
just a lot newer than annuals.
No, I think that's a good point. Good point.
So
All right. We got 2 topics and we don't have a ton of time. So I'm going to let our guest Stephanie pick from these 2 topics. Stephanie, do you want to discuss events that we attended in 2025? And I'm going down a specific path for this because I went to a really cool one that I'd never been to before. Or horticulture integrated into grade school, middle school, and high school. Topic 1, events. Topic 2, hort in school.
Maybe it's a meld of both. I will just say, let's do topic 1, but I will just give my fast answer to topic 2 in that I think it is incredibly important. Every year, my daughter learns something new about plants or photosynthesis or things like that. And every year when she was in elementary school, I always volunteered. I'm like, pick me. I'm the parent who can help with this.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, you have an expert like in your neighborhood. I can help. And everyone always like crickets. So this
Because
year
you were
when
going to come in and discuss weed science, and they were probably nervous about that, first of all, or just like,
this year though, when Kelsey was for her science in middle school and they were talking about the carbon cycle and nitrogen cycle and all that kind of jazz, the day that she had, I realize we're going down path 2 here pretty deeply, but she had asked me for like help after school on her homework for the carbon cycle. And I was like, girlfriend, I got this.
Let's
Like,
go.
you've made me like a really, really proud mom for asking for my help. Let's do it to it. Like, this is bringing me back to years I was a TA in botany class. So yes, yeah, there is a difference between horticulture and botany. We can go off that offline, but events. I'll talk about cast this year was epic. I didn't get to travel from site to site for California spring trials, but I feel like where we were for Dümmen, we knocked it out of the park. Our whole team, it was executed well. We had fantastic products. Like, and shout out to Catherine Koo, who is our grower for all of our events. She's a wizard. But our messaging was like awesome. I'm so proud of like our whole team. It was a team effort. It was
It was an
fantastic.
anniversary.
It was our anniversary. Yeah, yeah, our 25th anniversary in North America. The event that I think will be memorable and we'll be talking about it for like years from now is the year that we had an absolute torrential downpour at the Metrolina Public Gardens. I threw away
Wading
my
through
shoes.
water. I saw pictures.
Yeah, there's a picture of me and the Dümmen and McCutcheon Bonds team or McCutcheon team, and like we're just soaking wet. And my colleague is like, "I hate camping. Like, this is fun." So we are going to be, I think, lots of us in the industry be talking about that for years to come. The event I wish I had gone to was Bailey Nursery's Flora House in New York
That
City this
looked
summer.
cool.
I'm super jelly that I didn't get to go. And then outside of the industry, the two events that I was not anticipating I would love and will always be in my top two memorable events that I've been to was the Metallica concert here in Syracuse in May. Yes,
Who
I'm
were they
not a Metallica,
with? Who was with them?
not Primus. I'll have to go and double check because we missed part of that opening. But my first mosh pit ever, we were on the floor. I know, right? Yeah, Steph Whitehouse is kind of badass sometimes.
I'm pretty jealous.
And like epic show.
Mm.
And we saw Pearl Jam also. So we're on this like run to try to see as many Hall of Famers as we can. So, and Elton, we saw him. I was like 8 months pregnant. Kelsey's first rock concert ever. He also is an amazing performer as well too. So
There you go.
yeah,
Hold me
great
close,
events.
Cloud
this year.
Dancer.
Hold me closer. Dancer.
And I almost actually went with Enter Sandman as a walk-in song.
Great one.
Metallica is
Oh, nice.
definitely
Yeah.
in my top 3 favorite bands, and iconic song, great beginning. They have a lot better songs, but that would have been a good walk-in.
I mean,
Yeah.
Metallica's no Fall Out Boy, but a decent band nonetheless.
Metallica might be the greatest American rock band of all time.
Aerosmith's up there.
Chili Peppers are up there.
The Chili Peppers, yeah, they're pretty great too.
All right.
Well, those are all good events. I also would have liked to have seen that Flora House. That looked pretty
Yeah.
crazy cool. They're going to do something again next year. I forget what it was, but they have a plan. It's going to be a little different, but same concept.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to expose regular people to what goes on in our industry, which I think is, I don't know. We talked about it a couple episodes ago, using spring trials as an opportunity to do that. And I've been thinking about it ever since because I don't know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that I think people would find really, really cool.
Yeah.
Even some of the plant breeding we've talked about.
Agreed. Like I always describe, spring trials to my girlfriends as like plant fashion week. It
Auto
brings
show,
all
Mason calls it an auto show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right. It's like the LA Auto Show. It is the best of the best from everybody. Yeah, if you want to go see what's cool and what's new, that is where you go. Like
Well,
Maybe we
look-
should change the name.
but cast is different. It's next
Again?
level.
Change the name again, Seth?
Yeah, change it again. Cast is boring. California Spring Trials kind of sounds boring. Like
We've
regular
had plant trials,
would be-
California spring trials, California summer trials. Remember when we changed the dates a little bit and
Yeah.
that didn't work well?
But to that, by the way, I think it's funny, Stephanie, you brought up the land. We talked the ride at Epcot. We talked about that on a prior episode, I think, when Seth and I were talking about getting
Yeah.
people into horticulture. I think we both everybody's hit on this that's something that gets people into horticulture. And like then we do this giant event in California, and then we're like, yeah, no general public.
Right.
You got an invite? If not, we're gonna escort you out of here.
It's true.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. There's a lot of opportunities. I'll give you my just one event that I attended this year that I don't know. Jen Zerko asked me to cover it for the magazine. I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't really know what I was walking into, but it was the International Plant Trialing Conference.
mm,
Oh,
It was all about
yeah.
plant trialing. And again, I wasn't, and in my head, I was like, I didn't know how many companies actually participated in trialing. I honestly had no sense of the scale of trialing within the flower side of the business, or how about just in-ground, cut flowers, vegetables, universities, like Royal Horticulture Society representatives were there, people from universities, people from like the biggest vegetable, like ag vegetable breeding companies were there talking about what they do. There were people from, our companies, like breeding companies there. There were growers. I mean, it was, and there were a couple hundred people there. super focused, super passionate. We learned about software that's being used to record trials, which is like super high tech, all the way down to like pen and paper on a clipboard, like how to keep trial data, the importance of it all throughout the breeding process. I don't know, I was absolutely blown away. I loved every second of it. The people were great. The whole meeting was great, and it's only done like every 5 or 10 years. So I don't know. It was the highlight of my year in terms of events, and like spring trials was great, but I got more out of this just to see a side of the industry that I hadn't been exposed to. It was absolutely amazing. So
My
Mason, what do
I
we
got
got?
2 events, and one, I've been to this event before, but it is always one of my favorite events, was the garden center group meeting. This year we were in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I don't know, Danny Summers in that group. That is such a cool way to interact with garden centers, and like these are the best of the best garden centers across the country, sharing ideas. You do a little bit of touring, get to hear like what works in the garden center, what doesn't. Awesome people, like those are my people, like salt of the earth, love them. So got to shout out that event. And then the other one was American Bloom. So as of January, by the way, I take over as president of American Bloom. So a little nerve wracking there.
Did you get a
but
crown? Do you get
what?
like a crown or a championship belt?
That'd be cool.
They
No,
should
I
do
just
that.
get a lot of responsibilities that I hope I'm prepared to handle. But I got to shout out the event because for the first time since I've been involved, it was like near my hometown. So it was in Orion. The event was in Rochester. We stayed in Rochester, but Orion Township hosted it, Lake Orion, Michigan. I grew up like 25 minutes from
Oh
there.
yeah, you took your mom, didn't you?
Yes. I got to, so my mom, who, as listeners may know from my history, operated a retail greenhouse. So she's been in the industry, kind of semi-retired, semi-not. I was like, hey, your birthday is the same weekend as this conference. I'm going to buy you your way in, like, come down. I was like, you're not going to understand like the public, government type of deal about this. But like you'll have fun and get to see like Lake Orion and talk about like how they're doing, green infrastructure and plants and beautification. And so that was a blast. Took my mom to there, and it was also cool because at the time I was vice president, and I was like, look, like I'm not just out here
You
trying
made something of yourself.
yeah. And so that was also really cool because she was like, I love that you're like trying to do something good in the world. So I don't know, that I was really proud that I got to share that conference moment. And what typically for me, like I enjoy that conference regardless because why I'm involved with the organization, but it was like another step. And my mom also left and was like, I need to get all these cities involved with American Bloom. They have to be doing this. This is one of the best organizations. Like I need to tell everybody about it. I was like, all right, mom.
That's cool.
So yeah. And also kind of shout out, next year is our 25th. And we're in DC for that. It's big things to happen. I told my mom she has to go to that one now. Like she's looped in for life. And she's like, I don't know. DC's so far away. I'm like, it's not. But yeah, it'll be
You should
fun.
take your dad.
Never. Not a chance. No, just kidding.
So does that mean
If he'd go, I'd take him.
So in January, do we have to start calling you President Day?
El Presidente.
El Presidente Day? Presidente Day?
Ooh, there you go. El
Right?
Presidente.
There's a good play on the words there. Yeah.
There you go.
I have to say to your shout out for Danny Summers, he does run one of the best like in-person events that I've been to like 2 or 3 of his events, and it's by far the best. The people that go are like at the top tier of running businesses, and the way he engages the group and creates all this interaction with both the sponsors and vendors and the attendees was just like a phenomenal event. Definitely would recommend that.
Did you go anywhere this year, Seth, or were you stuck in your office all year?
I did not really go very many places. I haven't traveled since May of last year. That's a new thing for me. I did. Certainly Darwin Perennials Day is probably one of my favorite events ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of semi-biased, right? But I did go to a sustainable event with Impact Illinois, and that some of the speakers that they had there are not kind of your typical speakers, kind of just talking about sustainability on like kind of a global level. Some of those are a little bit challenging for me because there's not always like, when you get like, there's some speakers that just, it's more inspirational and gets like, it's like more abstract, right? So sometimes I'm like, where's my next steps? like, what do I do with this? But then it's like supposed to like get your brain kind of like, so I thought that was really interesting and different for me.
And when you
But
go to things like that are not industry specific, it's all about making that connection and seeing how we can take ideas from these generally bigger, bigger industries or bigger cultural movements and things like that and bring them back to impact what we do so that we're
yeah,
staying relevant.
yeah.
No, that's good. All right. We got to do it. Any hot takes or shout outs?
Yes. Shout
All
out
right.
to the JR Peters team this week. We had a holiday door decorating contest. Obviously, I work out of my basement, so I didn't do it, but they decorate doors inside the office of their offices, and like there's different themes. And I'm gonna give a shout out, but also kind of a what the heck is that they took an Instagram video of all these doors, and so I'm getting to see these doors for the first time. And it's funny, they put people's faces on different characters, and somehow across two separate doors, I am one, the Grinch, and two, on John's door, which is Die Hard themed, I'm Hans Gruber. So
Were you falling? Were you falling from the?
and I'm just like, wait a second, you're telling me I'm the Grinch and Hans Gruber?
Yeah,
Like,
you're the bad guy.
the next time it might as well just be like, Mason's come to town, watch out for Krampus. Like, I don't know. So,
Yep.
but shout out, the doors look really nice. They did a great job.
I don't know. Any other shout out? Well, I'll give a shout out. We already talked about it actually, because this has been in my head all for the last 2 weeks. Just plant breeders. I think they're the unsung heroes of our industry. And I just completed 22 podcasts where I talked to the folks that are in charge of the spring trials, each company's stop, which is a lot. And that was definitely a project that I didn't think through when I said yes, but they're done. And I got to talk to a lot of really cool people. And it kept coming up just how much work, like, oh, this has been in development for 10 years. I'm like, that's just crazy to think about how long one person or a team of people work on one product before that ever sees the light of day, and how many don't. I mean, I was talking to someone who's like, oh yeah, we go over to Germany and we look at these trials and there are 3,000 plants, of which only 10 are going to, make it to market. And it's just that concept. I think my cat just came barreling into my office with like cardboard in its mouth or something. Anyways.
It's probably a mouse. Yeah, a dead mouse that looks like cardboard. Sorry. Anyway, so I have a shout out. So I want to shout out Marion Miesenberg. I don't know if you guys have, I think Mason's met her. She worked with me at Darwin Perennials. And if you've ever been to a Darwin Perennials Day event in the last 5 years, she basically organized it, ran it, designed it, all that jazz. And she is retiring at the end of the month.
Oh,
and
congrats.
so, so I've known her for 18 years, and I knew her, like, obviously we worked together at Darwin, and basically anything good of Darwin that's happened in the last 5 years, like she basically made it all happen. Like she did it all. And so she did like the catalog and the events and stuff. So she's mentored a bunch of like the young people at Ball, like she would like offer me guidance and a bunch of other people. And so, so she's, we had lunch to dig it forever. Like we'll have drinks later,
right.
So
she's awesome. Last time I was in the office, she like grabbed me. She was like, hey, I'm retiring at the end of the year or whatever. She goes, I just want to make sure that we continue to promote this product, and we're launching this new whole range of plants that we've never been in before, and just make sure. And like she was like trying to make sure everything was lined up so that when she was done, all the work she'd done just kept going. So I was like, oh my gosh, you're not just retiring and turning your back and walking away. Like she cares. Yeah, definitely shout out.
Above and beyond.
That's cool. Stephanie, any shout outs?
Or hot takes.
Yeah, we can move to hot takes.
Oh, good. Along the same lines as you, Bill, I'm going to make a shout out to Keisha Chen, who's our product manager for poinsettias, and for our two breeders on poinsettias, Ariane Coote and Ruth Kabanashi, Ruth has actually been since like Eki days. They all together just won Best Red and Best Novelty Petunia. Whoa, Nelly, it's Friday. Give me a cookie and a cocktail or something. No, Best Poinsettia, the red poinsettia, and Best Novelty Poinsettia at the Plant Peddler trial last week. So
that's cool, covering both ends of the spectrum.
accolade. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Are
to
there
have both
any
like
other
plastic
ones
red and
in
hmm?
between? Like you
There's
get best
white.
red and best. Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
just
there's
always think
white,
it's like red and then
pink.
it's novelty. I don't know.
Yeah. So that it's awesome sauce. Hot takes. Yeah, I guess I don't like Joanna Gaines. Is
Yep.
maybe a hot take. I like Martha Stewart instead.
Mm,
Also maybe thinking of, I guess an idea I've been thinking is we need better plant product placement. You could just in movies and music and the world and stuff like that. I don't know how we do that or who gets to pay the bazillion dollars for another Super Bowl ad or whatnot,
Mm.
but more plant
I
product
vote Dooman.
placement.
You know what?
You said I vote Dooman. They get
Thanks for
to pay it.
volunteering us.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like on that, I don't know about on my news feed sometimes, right? Like I get these, like, I don't know how I end up with these, but it'll be like so and so celebrity cited with the best low cost purse or something, right? Do you ever
Mm.
get
Yeah.
those? Do you ever see those at like things? And then it's like
My wife
it's
showed me
like,
one last night.
well, I don't know how I'm getting them, but
My
anyways, like
algorithm is different than yours.
My wife was like, "Hey, you remember that camera I put on my Christmas list? It's like a video camera, but like looks like an
Yeah.
old school one, but it's digital." I guess Taylor Swift was spotted with it
Mm,
recently, and
mm.
she was like, "See, there it is."
Yeah,
And
or
I was like,
it's like they're wearing something and it's cited, and then like there's an article about like where to buy it inexpensively, right? I've never seen it be like, oh, did you see someone with brand new like Chinese evergreen or
Mm.
Mandevilla? Here's how to get
Right,
your
right?
Mandevillas, right? Like no one's, we need more. If celebrities could just walk around with our plants just for fun, that would
Yeah.
be nice.
Yeah, it's like plant, like celebrity collaboration or even like company collaboration. I know you guys already talked
Yeah,
about like Oreos and whatnot, but my and Wicked, so
like if
you're
they
like,
could just
okay,
walk.
there's a special donut at Dunkin' Donuts for like Wicked. Why can't Wicked also select like a plant, right? I mean,
"Yeah,
Right.
how many like pink and purple or like pink and green plants are out there? I mean, like there's
Mm,
another
I don't
breeding
know.
company.
Maybe it's a matter of getting it into the hands of set designers or garden centers, greenhouses saying, hey, we are available to fill your movie sets. And I know some do. Like, I
Yeah,
definitely know. And I've talked to people over the years who maybe their garden center is where all the celebrity interior designers go. I knew a guy in California who had that. Or maybe
yeah,
it's working with, movie set designers. And I know that there's garden centers and greenhouses that do that. And they don't like to talk about it because there's probably like an NDA or something, but
yeah,
but I think we could be way more intentional. And it's not just, I know we've like gotten plants on the runway for Academy Awards or on the set of ESPN. I remember when there was a certain poinsettia that made it on the set of ESPN, but like who knew? Or there was
right,
no,
right.
I mean, maybe it just rose the sales of poinsettias. I doubt it. It's probably not the right market, but PW used to do it at the Kentucky Derby. I talked about that, where when they launched an ageratum and it was like all over the Kentucky Derby like TV set and stuff. And I'm sure they did a good job of getting the name out in consumer magazines. That's what they're good at. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I think that's a good hot
let's
take
have,
and a good challenge.
yeah,
I
that's
wonder
one.
if there's like how could we like share with celebrities that if they like gardening, they can come to this closed event only in California once a year,
I
right?
Yeah,
It's
mean,
like super closed. Like no
I
one
could
has
maybe
access to it unless you have 2 million followers on Instagram.
it's not a
And
bad
then
idea.
get them there because if they like, gardening, but they don't tell anyone because they're super famous, then they could still come and, check it out.
We once got a journalist from a leading newspaper, let's just say, and this leading newspaper has a home and garden editor, and he came to spring trials and basically wrote about all these great plants that'll never see the light of day. And he was
great."
wined and dined and welcomed, and that was, which is that's the risk you have with journalists. They can write whatever they want. That's
yeah.
the beauty of that. But I think that we'd have to, and that's probably why you got to pay your way into things like that. T Swizzy wasn't holding that camera because she liked it.
I mean, she could have liked it.
I mean,
She
right.
could
I
have
was just
liked
gonna
it.
say, do it.
Yeah, but like what about her sourdough thing? So she's super. You think like this, like the bread industry is paying her to talk about sourdough bread and how
Probably
much
not,
fun?
No.
because sourdough is killing the bread industry, Seth, because
Oh,
it
it
costs
is.
pennies on a dollar to make a loaf of sourdough. because you
Oh.
just make it with, I don't know, Alex makes sourdough and she puts the ingredients on. It's like
She has her
water,
starter. Did she
water,
keep her
salt, flour,
starter,
yeast.
like a living starter in the
Yeah.
kitchen in a
Oh, yeah.
jar?
She makes a killer bread. Like, she's
I've
the
never
best bread
tasted
maker
it.
I've ever seen. What?
Bill,
I've
have you
never
had
had
her?
any
Have you
either.
tasted her bread? I haven't. No one else. No one
No.
can vouch for this.
The last
Mason,
time
I'm
I
just
went to
saying.
Peachtree, calling back to this, I showed up from the airport and I had a bag of bread in my backpack, and Carrie picked me up from the airport and was like, "We're gonna go to Peachtree." And I was like, okay. She's like, "We won't have time for lunch." And I was like, "Don't worry, I brought mine." And I was just like eating. It was a garlic infused sourdough loaf. And she's
Oh.
like, "That's really pungent."
You should have infused it with lavender.
Yeah. Did you and Alex like compare sourdough starter recipes then while you were there?
Because Alex has
Oh.
a sourdough
Exactly.
starter recipe.
We didn't talk
Yes.
about it because I ate all the bread like on the way to
Yeah.
Peachtree. There was none left. I didn't share any. Everybody's always
Word.
like, "You didn't bring any to share?" I'm like, "No, this bread's from me."
Well, you guys, this has been great. Stephanie, you're officially a squad member. You will be
Aw.
welcomed back at any time. It
Thanks,
wasn't bad. I
guys.
mean, it wasn't bad, was it?
No.
Not a letdown.
I'm so
But-
excited that we now can use the term, friend of the show. Like,
Yeah.
Stephanie's a friend of the show.
Friend of the show. The first.
Yep. Friend of the show.
Well, I loved
I
it.
was like the one setter.
There you go.
It was great. And thanks for reaching out.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate you, and we will continue. You know what? Here's to another 15 years of friendship.
I think that sounds great. Sign me up.
There we go. But before I wrap it up, I got to remind everyone to like, subscribe, and follow. The algorithms did find favor with us this week because Mason talked about Taylor Swift, and I used the hashtag Swifties, which got us thousands and thousands of views of people who will never listen to a full show.
Someone
that's
said
okay.
grounds for divorce on one of that videos, and I went through and I was like, for which of us? And I was like, hopefully it's you guys.
Yeah, exactly. And to the listeners, jump back into YouTube or Spotify, listen to the first 4 episodes. Follow us on Instagram at GHSquadPod. Thank you for all the support. We will be back next week, which I'm dropping on these guys because it is the day after Christmas. But we're going to circle back. We're going to do a quick Christmas recap and make a big announcement for January.
All right.
They don't even know. It's in our shared notes. You can figure it out.